another video on slow braised celery. So I've done this a couple of times. I was gonna stop saying but I did it straight away. That's a personal thing I need to keep a note of. So I've done the slow braised celery a couple of times. The second time I stuffed it with breadcrumbs. It was very nice. I kind of thought that it'd be nicer stuffed with a meat stuffing, like a Italian meatball type of thing. So pork and parmesan and breadcrumbs and egg to kind of bind it together. So I went through the freezer and I've got some offcuts of pork, some pork trimmings, which we'll mince down. I've got some sausages which will slip out of the skins, and we'll mince those at the same time as well. And I've got another bit of pork, and then I've got this, which is air-dried ham, which I bought from the supermarket. I need some scissors. I'll use them. So I bought from the supermarket because it was cheaper, and it just sat in the fridge, and I didn't really know what to do with it. So we're going to use this up as well, although it says it's smoked. So maybe we won't, so I might just scrap this video. But let's cut into it. It's past its sell-by date. Let's not talk about that. I just bought it on a whim. It was cheap, so I just kind of thought let's buy it and let's taste it, and then let's see what we can do with it. If it's a little bit salty to eat, what I'll do is I'll cut it up and we'll soak it in some water. And if it's a little bit too smoky, we'll do the same thing as well. And then the water that we soak it in will just get rid of any excess salt or any excess smoke. But we'll see. So yeah, it smells alright. So it's been air dried, so it should be okay to eat. Let's have a taste. Yeah, that's fine. That's not too salty at all. So let's cut this. I'll cut the skin off, and then we'll mince it, and then we'll combine it with some soaked breadcrumbs, and then I made a bit of tomato sauce. So we'll kind of combine everything together. So I'll mince the meat, and then we'll have it ready with the breadcrumbs and the Italian hard cheese and parmesan and the egg, and we'll make a stuffing, and then we'll decide how we're going to stuff the celery. I think peel the outside leaves, so look, not the best quality. I think what we'll do, we're going to do it two ways. Difficult. I think what we'll do is we'll take off the outside leaves, give them a little bit of peel to get rid of the strings out of them, and then use the outside, are they leaves? Outside stalks is that word, celery stalks obviously, and then we'll use those to pack that around the around like the sausage of meat, and then we'll kind of see how it turns out. I think that's what we'll do. Yeah, so I'll mince a few things, get a few things ready, and then we're back when we're going to put things together. Right, we have about a kilo, maybe a little bit more, maybe 1.2 kilos worth of meat. We've got 200 grams worth of bread. Now it was dried, but then I've rehydrated it with some water, and then I put it through the mincer after the meat. So there's about 200 grams worth of fresh bread. That would be about 100 grams worth of dry bread, and then there's 150 grams worth of hard Italian cheese because I need to use it up. I think let's put the smaller eggs than usual. So these they're cheaper free-range eggs, but they're mixed sizes. So let's have a look at the sizes. That's a smaller one, and that looks smaller than the others. So let's. No, that looks small. Those two look the smallest. Let's put two small eggs in. They're classed as medium, but they're pretty small. I haven't got any other eggs in the house. So let's put two eggs in, and if we have to put a little bit more bread in, we will. Mix this up, and we need to put some pepper in. I'm not going to put any salt in because the The air dried ham was a little bit salty, so certainly going to put some pepper in. I would normally put some herbs in, but I can't be bothered, and I would normally put some onions in, but I can't be bothered. So, but it's like Italian meatballs. It's like a scale. Sometimes it's a little bit more bread, sometimes it's a little bit more meat, sometimes it's a little bit more cheese, sometimes it's not so much cheese at all. It's that type of thing is where you kind of use what you've got. So let's squish this up. I'm using up 150 grams worth of cheese. I'd normally put in 100 grams worth of cheese. It's just that I want to use it up because it was just getting a little bit past its best. So they're going to be very cheesy. So I'm not bothering to whisk the egg. I'm just going to combine everything in together and make a mess of my hands. That feels okay. The air dried ham smells great. I'm not really, it's a bit smoked. I'm not really a fan of smoked meats. I think that's because I grew up in a time when people used that liquid smoke to pretend that things were smoked. So it was like a smoked flavour rather than actually something that had been smoked. So I'm not a huge fan of smoked things. I think it tends to be a little bit too powerful. Certainly when it comes to bacon. A little bit of smoke's nice, but too much I find it a bit acrid. But that's just me. So, and there will be some seasoning in the sausage as well, but that looks like a nice amount of fat to meat ratio. So I think it's going to be nice. So now I did have things thoughts about this, but I need a little bit of space. So get that off my hands, and then so I've peeled the celery from the outside, and I've taken it off the stalk. See, I'm doing the aren't I? I really need to work on that. So I've taken them, cleaned them, peeled them down a little bit, just to get some of the excess strings out of them, and then I've just got a again, one of those see, I can't stop doing it. One of the elastic bands from a roast chicken. So that has just holding the end, and what I've done is I put some fat and some of the tops to bottoms and bottoms to tops. So there's some, if you imagine that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make a bit of sausage. So we'll encase the meat in there, and then the celery on the outside. So my idea is kind of this. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know where I've got the idea from, or why I'm even doing it. But if we do that, and I squish the meat into the bits of the celery, like that. So that's going to pop out there, but that'll be fine, because we're going to be raising it slowly in some tomato sauce. So yeah, that's going to be my idea. So I think this looks going to work. So a little bit more meat. I've made far too much filling. I'm going to do two. So I've got two celeries. So this is one celery, and then I'm going to do another one. And if we kind of squish it together like that, and then hopefully it will have gone into the gaps in the celery. But I think it'll expand a little bit like that, and then do that like that. Squish that down there. I think it needs some more in the top end. I know what we'll do. So I've got a elastic band somewhere. I've got another elastic band here. So what we'll do is we'll tie that elastic band on that end, and then we'll take this, splashing everywhere, take that elastic band off that way, and then push those bits of meat in that end. So we could tie it with some string, but these elastic bands that are on roast chickens are just useful. I wouldn't recommend using normal rubber bands, but these are the ones that become on the chickens. Are just useful to kind of have. So I think this is going to work. So we have kind of that. So we'll see what that's. Do we want some more filling in it? I don't think so. So that's kind of my idea. And then we'll put that back on that end, and then we'll get another one. That's good size. So we'll get one. Move that fan down there. Move this here like that, and then we'll do the other one, and then we'll put some tomato sauce in there, which I'll just wash my hands. We'll get that. No, you don't need to see that, do you? No, we'll stop there. I'll do the other one, and then we're back when we're putting the tomato sauce in. So we've done the both. And it's done. So this is just tomatoes and some onions that I've cooked down and the pureed. So there's no seasoning in it because I think there'll be enough seasoning in the again, I should maybe count how many times I do it. There'll be enough seasoning in the stuffing, so I don't think it'll need any more. So that on there like that, and that on there like that. And I was actually thinking this is probably something that I've seen in a 1970s British cookbook, which are terrible cookbooks, absolutely terrible they are, but it looks like something that Fanny Craddock would make, who is a bit of a joke these days, but at the time, you know, a very powerful one on TV, but a bit of a joke. Not loved and respected in the way she should be, really. But anyway, so foil on there, and then slowly braise it 150 degrees for 4-5 hours, depending how long I'm going to be out and what I've got to do tomorrow. Let's have a look at these celeries. So they've been in the oven for about 6 hours at 100 degrees. I turned it off about an hour ago just to let it cool down a little bit. I think it'll need turning over, and then we'll have to cook the other side. And I added a little bit of stock as well. So the stock was from some lard that I'd rendered down. There's just a bit of jelly at the bottom, so I added the jelly into it. Oh, that's okay. It feels tender. Let's just have a look underneath. That looks okay, doesn't it? Yeah, so lots of liquids coming out of it. It certainly didn't need that stock. It certainly would be fine with that stock. Yeah, those. So we'll just be able to see the difference, won't we? I don't know. I think that's all kind of quite tender. That's all kind of quite tender. It's held together. I was thinking about this. So when I went swimming, like all of my ideas come from when I'm swimming or when I'm out walking, and it's probably because I use the time. There's no distractions when I'm swimming, so it's just me and I'm swimming with my goggles on and like head down. So it's just me and my thoughts in my head. So I tend to work through quite a lot of things while I'm swimming, thoughts and ideas and things. So that's probably why the majority of my ideas come from when I'm swimming, because that's the only time that I'm really alone with my thoughts. Now, just a bit there. Now I feel it'll certainly be cooked all the way through. So but it probably just needs a little bit longer, a little bit, yeah. So I'm going to go swimming. Oh yeah, so yeah, I was thinking while I was swimming that there was something else I can do with this. So this is not going to be the end of this kind of like little experiment into celebrating celery. I was kind of thinking that we can have another go at it and tie them up with wire and roast them on the barbecue. And I think that would be really kind of quite interesting. As long as we use wire that's stripped of plastic, I thought roasting one on the barbecue might be kind of quite interesting. It'll protect the meat on the inside, and on the outside the celery will go kind of charred and the steam on the inside, and I thought that'd be kind of quite nice. But yeah, so the inside, the bit that was on top is now underneath, just needs a little bit longer. So when I set off for swimming, I'll put it in for another hour, like 125, something like that, and then it'd be ready for when I get home from swimming, and that'd be something delicious to eat. What does it taste like? So the meat juices have come out, so we'll just taste the tomato sauce while we're here. Oh, that's delicious. That's delicious. Could do it to be a bit thicker. That's delicious. It's bloody and celery and tomatoey, and a little bit meaty. So that's gonna be really good. Yeah, it's gonna be really good. And we'll see what I'm going to serve it with. I served it with some plantain last time. It was delicious. Anyway, so stick it back in the oven. I'll go swimming, and then I'll have it when I come home from swimming. Look at this. I've taken some of the sauce out and just reduced it down so it's a little bit thicker. So that's what I'm going to have with it. I just thought the liquid was just a little bit too thin to serve as a sauce. It would be nice, but it probably could have done without me adding that little bit of extra stock to it, and the meat juice has sort of given up some of their juice, and more juice would have come out of the celery, so it would have thinned down the tomato anyway. But we live and learn, don't we? We live and learn. And I had it to use up, so it's not done any harm. Just get that out of the way, and then that. I'm not using those when I could just pick them out with my hands. So let's cut an end off using the scissors, and then we'll kind of have a look at it, and then we'll use this bit of foil that we've covered the top in as a plate. And I'm not making any washing up. So that's two things I should do. I should make less washing up, and I should stop saying as much. So that looks alright. So let's move it out of the way, and then we'll just see if we can see that one, see if that's any better. Yeah, so it's certainly there. There's the stuffing. But let's just see what it looks like in a cut up bit. And let's just give it a taste in here. It's going to be hot. Oh, see, look, there's plenty of stuffing, isn't there? What does it taste like with the celery? Not good, is that? Not good, is that? I mean, it's very 1970s. I must have flicked through an old cookery book and seen it. I must have. But it tastes good. It's nice. I think doing it on a barbecue. Next time I do it, I'll do it on the barbecue outside. To Charlie outside, and I think it'd be really good. But that air dried ham that I bought from Lidl's lovely. In a meatball mixture. Do you know, that's really good actually. That's really good. The meat makes a difference. So it's kind of the flavour of the meat's gone into the celery. The flavour of the celery's gone into the meat, and all those flavours combined into the sauce. So that's lovely, is that? That's lovely, is that? I must have nicked the idea from somewhere. There's no new ideas in the world, and I don't think. Yeah, I suppose you could do the same with leeks. So you could take a leek, split it down the centre, but just halfway, and then unwrap it, and then you could use the leaves of the outer leek leaves to what we call it, to kind of wrap it up like a parcel. So whereas so like in Mexican cooking, you'd wrap things in. No, well, it's Mexican and South American cooking. You'd use the husk from a corn, maize, and you'd put fillings in that, and then wrap it up and tie it, You could do the same with leek, and I suppose it's just exactly the same what I've done there, but I've used celery on the outside rather than the husk from the corn or some leek. But I think both of those ideas would kind of work and will have been done in South American cooking. And in the same, you would use in Greek and Italian, or more Greek cooking, you'd use vine leaves. So you'd use the leaves from grapes to do a similar type of thing. What are they called? They're called dolmadas, which is like, I'm sure that's Greek, where you wrap things in vine leaves and then steam them. So same kind of principle, really, but we're just using leek. We're just using celery instead of something else. But it's nice. It's really nice, actually. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a different way of doing the same thing, but it's very nice. I really like it. I'll do the recipe and I'll put it in the description. But that's a winner, isn't that? That's really nice. I'm going to enjoy having that. I'm going to have it with some polenta. Yeah. Side note. So I was faffing around with the butter from the fat that came out of the store recently. So I made butter out of it and all kinds of things, and I have used that fat in this polenta, and it's delicious. So that's another use for that Stilton fat. It's got a lovely umami flavour to it. Anyway, so that's a success. I'm happy. We'll try it on the barbecue, and I think that'll be just as good, but a little bit different.